Hi there. This is a sample from Jill and Joe sample. Names have been changed to protect the innocent. So in this scenario, we have Jill and Joe who are have been seeing a financial planner, and that financial planner is a fee-based planner, and in many cases, fee-based planners, they basically say, "Hey, we're neutral because we don't get paid based off commission." But their commission is really the plan that they're selling, and so they have to make that plan look good in order for there to be a sale. And this is how they do it in most case scenarios. So as they've met with their financial planner, this is their life event flow. This is how much is going in, 10% of their income, and it's increasing 3% with accordance with the increase in wages. And so they're $10,000 a year, and their financial planner has shown them this number here. Whoops, let's see here. A 30-year number of $994,000. Substantial amount of money. It is almost $1 million, and most clients with $100,000 in income are going to be happy to know that they're going to be millionaires when they get 30 years down the road. However, in most sports like football or basketball or baseball, the game could be won in the first half, but could also be lost in the last half. And so there's two halves to this story. And so that's the problem with just looking at this number here and saying, hey, we can get you up to this number and then just take a specific amount out. So let's just change this number right here. And we're going to put, we're going to put 60 years in this number here instead of 30. We'll recalculate that. And so there's a linear progression. And so a lot of times what you'll see is, this linear progression at 30, and which is $994,000, and that continuing to go up, and it continues to get bigger. But life happens, and so what we do is we say, okay, well let's take a retirement out of this account, and that retirement will start, and we automatically think, oh, well, if I'm living off $100,000 now, I can live off of $100,000 or maybe a little bit less when I go to retire, adjusted for inflation. Even though we think that we're going to live on less, we don't really live on a lot less. Let's go from year 31 to year 60. And if that's the assumption, then we have a little bit of a problem here. Blue, good, red, bad. It's fairly simple diagram. Negative $4 million. Now that's not really what's going to happen, because when we look at this number, we're going to have to look at inflation. Inflation for things for a year from now. Your $100,000, you're going to have to make $103,000. Groceries go up, gas goes up, everything goes up because of inflation. And so over a 30-year period of time, which is the remainder of that retirement, is $242,000 is what we have to make. Financial planners will say, oh, you can live on about 75% of how much you made before. So let's just say that. Let's just say that's $181,000. I'm not good at math. I already figured that out beforehand. But let's say $180,000, and let's see what that does to this plan. And it makes it even worse. Obviously, you're going to have, almost $9 million in the red at the end of this period of time. So you're really not going to have very many years 5 years of retirement where you actually have some money if you're taking out $180,000 a year. So the financial planner might say, hey, well, let's, instead of doing that, let's go ahead and increase the rate of return. But the thing that you have to understand when a financial advisor tells you, or financial planner tells you, that they can get that in their sleep, we can get a lot more. The numbers that they're going to throw out here, 10, 11, 12 plus percent, most of the time those numbers are gross numbers, not net numbers. And they don't calculate in the fees and taxes or inflation. And so let's take a look at this. Let's just say that we went up to 7% instead of 5%. That's about 8.5%, 9%, which is still pretty good. If you could get 9% year in and year out for over a 60-year period of time, you're doing pretty fantastic. I don't think you could find one. So that went from 9 million to almost 8 million. So it didn't really help that much. Now, another thing that we could do is, people say, well, you know what, I'm not going to live till I'm 95. Maybe I only live till 85 and I lob 10 years off the back of that. And let's see what happens there if you just cut 10 years off the back. So you're not playing the last quarter, the last 10 minutes of the game. And instead of 8 million, you're down to 3.5 million. So that does help, but you're still in the red here. And you still don't have enough money for your retirement after only about 10 years of retirement. So the thing that we need to be aware of here is one of the best ways that we can increase our retirement savings is to control one thing that we can control really well, and that's how much we put into savings. So our rate of return is I've said in other videos, our rate of return is trumped by our savings rate, how much we save into our savings plan. But even in this case scenario, there are some things that we can do, and sequence of events that we can force to happen that will actually make this number, instead of being red, it will actually have a good linear growth instead of having some of this red. And that those will be in sequels to this video. Not enough time right now, but that's one of the pitfalls of traditional planning, is that we are just looking at this linear equation right here and not looking at what happens after that retirement starts in the second half of your life. Thank you for watching.